Folks, some big changes are coming to Primordialis. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to access the early access beta. So, what you do is you go into properties, then you jump into betas here, and then you've got this little drop-down menu. Click on that, you'll be on none by default. Throw yourself on the beta public preview branch, and that will give you access to some crazy new features, which we're going to go over right now. Primordialis has undergone some significant changes. Basically, the entirety of the game has been turned on its head. You no longer start with an offensive tool. So you can see that spikes are gone. The speed plus spikes meta is no more. Now, we're going to go ahead and pick up explosive cells. And if you look over here, we've also got spikes. It's going to drop some random offensive cells in here that you can choose between each run. Note that I can't pick this one up, though, because it exceeds our maximum genome size. Genome size is a new experimental thing that Caluresis is trying out. Essentially, every single cell type has its own genome size. You can see here that that's a new stat. So some of these are going to be significantly cheaper than others, but the most important thing to note is that the offensive ones are going to be particularly expensive. So we've got to play around that. The next thing that I'm going to show off here, let's go ahead and get this kill. Might take one or two explosions. We'll see. There we go. A little bit low health after that. Let's see if we can pick up this XP. Come on. There we go. Beautiful. So, we're up to level 4 like usual. But you can see that our biomass has actually exponentially shot up all the way up to 450, which gives us a lot of potential to do some wacky things already. The next thing that you'll note is that despite my leveling up, we haven't gained any new cells. And that's because you actually have to find cells throughout the world. Now, different locations are more likely to have more cells, especially if you decide to go to an area that one might consider to be more dangerous. So let's go ahead and power up just a little bit and we'll go look around. Let's just do a little something like this. And let's get that a little further out just so it's less dangerous. There we go. And this should be a little bit more efficient for moving around. Just go ahead and blow that off of this guy. So yeah, level ups are going to be a lot less important when it comes to just like generally finding new cells. You're much better off wandering around and exploring the world. That doesn't mean that killing enemies isn't important, though, because once again, the cost of your genome size is a really big deal and your most limiting factor. So if you ever run out, you can actually let me go ahead and max out here. So we've got a couple more down here, and you can see that we're now maxed out. So, that means that these are the only cells that I can use, but if I want, I can actually drop these freely, which is really, really cool. So I can decide which I want to keep and which I want to get rid of, and it's pretty simple and easy to swap between. Note that if I've got, like, for example, I've got these explosives on, if I were to drop them, your body plan is using these cells that you do not have. Changes will not be applied. So until I have explosives again, I can't change my body plan. So that's an important little thing to keep in note for sure. Let's go ahead and grab a Seek Trigger cell. That seems pretty nice. And also, you may have noticed that there's new there's new cells. There's a whole bunch of new cells. There's basically an entire new subtype of cells that we'll call thermal. So explosives are extremely reactive with thermal. The more heat you apply to an explosive, the greater the explosion. We'll have videos coming out on that very soon, because there's so many incredibly funny tools that you can do with that. It's actually absurd how ridiculous it gets. And yeah, there's a bunch of other little changes here and there, new creatures that you've possibly already spotted. And yeah, there's one more major change, which I'm gonna run around and I'll track down the location for it, and I'll show you this last major change, because I think it's a really, really cool alteration. Here we go. Perfect. So, you see how this has like a little rainbow effect to it? If you drop a cell in here, it will combo with it. So whatever cell you have, note that I could have like 2 explosive cells, and I could put one in and have that become like a slippery explosive. Or I could use my jet cell, for example, and there we go. Now we've got a slippery jet cell. And yeah, that is now how you combo cells together, which I think is a much more elegant way of doing it. It's really, really interesting. But obviously, these are some extremely major changes to the game that we love, and it's interesting to see it all. So please, make sure you leave in the comments down below how you're feeling about the changes. You know, this is obviously an early access beta variant, so things are subject to change. But yeah, let us know if you'd like to see things change. I mean, I can tell Caluresis what the comments are saying and all that sort of thing. But I think overall that the changes are really, really good. And it's going to allow for a lot more flexibility. I'm not super sure how I feel about all of the cells just kind of being randomly strewn about. There might be a slightly more elegant solution than that even. And one thing that always jumps to mind for everyone, including myself, is, oh, have it so, like, creatures drop their cells. The problem with that is that then it, like, loses a significant amount of the randomness, unless they rework the way creatures spawn, but, you know, it's an interesting idea. There's definitely some sauce. It's quite interesting to see how this game is coming along and how things have changed. But yeah, keep an eye out for more Primordialis content. Thank you all very much for watching. Subscribe for more, and, you know, all that sort of YouTube-y type stuff. I appreciate you very much. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.